Hello guys and welcome to a new video. So a couple of videos back I mentioned the fact that I tested positive for COVID and I got a lot of messages from you guys saying, oh man, I really hope you feel okay, I really hope you get better soon. And by that time I was already okay, but of course I really appreciate all the messages and all the support from you guys. So yeah, I did test positive for COVID and I had to spend 2 weeks in solitary confinement. Not fun, especially because it actually happened during my birthday, so I am definitely looking forward to this weekend. So as promised, I will talk about my experience overcoming this damn sickness. Okay, before I get to it, I gotta stress that this is only my experience and my experience alone, and it's based on only what happened to me, which means that it could be completely different for you guys. In fact, I know some people that had COVID and had to face a lot of other issues that I didn't have to face. And of course, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, you drop me a comment at the end of this video, and make sure you subscribe to this channel like a man. Okay, so that being said, let's get into it. So at the end of September, I started feeling a little achy. The first symptom I actually had was that my kidney area was kind of sore and my back was feeling really tight and really sore. So of course, naturally, I started to blame the mattress. I was like, goddamn mattress, I gotta flip that thing. I remember specifically having a chat with my dad over the phone and telling him, you know, my back really hurts. I am really pissed because I can't really sleep at night. My back really hurts. And I get up and I feel like I haven't rested. And he was all like, well, how's your mattress? Maybe you need to flip it. Maybe you gotta throw that thing away and just buy a new one. A good night's sleep is really important. And all of that. And he is right. But at the back of my head, I was like, maybe I slept funny. I know the mattress is fine, so it's probably just me. So whatever, I just dismissed it. The next day, the backache was actually even worse. I could barely sit on this chair. It was kind of like in the lower back area and the hip area. So I decided to just lay down for a little bit. But at the same time, at this point, I was still blaming the mattress. So I was like laying down there and I was thinking maybe I'm just making it worse. So I'd get up and try to sit on a chair, and that was uncomfortable. So yeah, really annoying 2 days. Mind you, at this point, I had no fever, no cough, nothing. It was just the back pain. So I really didn't make much of it. So come day 3, I really started to get stuffed up. And I thought it was an allergy thing because I'm really allergic. It was right after the season change. We had just come into spring. So yeah, just a little stuffed up, a little trouble breathing, nothing major. No fever. I still had the backache, but it was a little bit more standable. And that's when I started to get the sneezes. I would sneeze constantly. Sneeze after sneeze after sneeze. Really annoying. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I got back pain. I'm sneezing a lot. I'm stuffed up. I'm gonna call the doctor. So I get on the phone and I call the lab and I tell them, hey, look, I've got these symptoms. Maybe I should get tested. And that was on Friday. So they tell me, hey, if you're not feeling that bad, don't come into emergency. Just wait till Monday. Come in the morning. And you'll get tested. So I did. So I decided to wait. I was feeling okay other than the back pain. I was fine. In fact, I didn't think I had it. Come Saturday, I get really stuffed up and I had a little trouble breathing because my nose was actually clogged up. So I started breathing through my mouth. And all of a sudden, I realized I've lost my sense of smell. I couldn't smell anything. I remember just grabbing perfume and just nothing. I grabbed a jar of coffee and I opened it up and I stuck my nose in it and I just took a really nice whiff. Nothing at all. So then I started to worry. So yeah, by Sunday in my head, I already had it. That's when I started to have fevers too. I never actually had really bad fever and I never actually felt really bad during this whole process. But it's very rare that I get a fever because it's very rare that I actually get sick. So that triggered the alarms in me. I would sit there and just let it do its thing. And then when I started to feel cold, I would just take like an ibuprofen and that would just lower it. Especially whenever I wanted to go to bed and get a good night's sleep. So come Monday, first thing in the morning, I get up, I get on the car and I drive to the hospital. I get to the lab and there's like no waiting. There's no line. And still I waited for like 25 minutes. So finally they come out, they give me a form to fill out. I fill that out and they make me step in. So I walk into this little cubicle and it looked as if I was going into the bank. He had this plexiglass thing with a little round hole and the doctor just comes in full astronaut suit. He asked me a couple of questions and he says, okay, so it seems like you have some of the symptoms, but still we need to test you to get a definitive positive or negative. He said, is that okay? And I say, yes, that's why I'm here. So I slip in a little, hey, so I hear this is not really pleasant. So he looks straight at me dead in the eyes and tells me it's horrible. Now when the doctor tells you it's bad, then you know it's really bad. They always tell you, hey, you need to get a shot. Yes, it's no problem. It's no big deal. But this time the guy was like, it's horrible. I had to do it 3 times in the last month and I hate it. So I knew I was in for a treat. Now I know it's different at every place that you go to, but at this place, what they do is they shove a huge Q-tip into your throat. So they come in through each nostril and then through your mouth and into your throat, and they go back here all the way back. Now you really don't know how long one of these guys is until you've had it shoved up your nostril. Literally what they do is they tell you to just look up straight, don't move, and they take it in all the way back until they hit the back wall of your throat, and it really hurts. Once they're in there, they scratch the back of your throat a little bit, then they pull it out. But then comes the second nostril. They go back in there again, and then they take a second Q-tip and they go in your throat all the way back. Now the nose thing really hurts. It's really painful, and it's like, and it just doesn't end. It takes forever for it to get to the back of your throat, and you have to stand still because, you know, it's dangerous. Now when they went into my throat, they actually hurt me a little bit. The Q-tip actually came out with a little bit of blood in it, and it was really sore for about 2 days. And of course that triggers your gag reflex, and I started coughing big time. Good thing that guy had a hazmat suit, because I coughed all over the guy. Okay, so after all that pleasant experience, they tell me to go back home and stay in lockdown, just in case, until I get the results of the test. So of course I did. Okay, so by Monday, I was really burning up, and I was really cold. I felt really cold, but I would look at my weather app and it was not cold at all. Again, it wasn't really high fever and it wasn't constant, but I would get the chills every now and then. So that gets us to Wednesday. That morning, I'm actually feeling okay, but for some reason I get up and there's no power. And I could tell that my neighbors actually had power, so I knew the problem was in my apartment. So I had to go downstairs and flick the switch back on. And once I get back upstairs, I had a couple of missed calls from my mom. At that point, I knew something was up. So I call her back, and of course she's crying, and she tells me that my grandmother had passed away. And that's when I lost it. For some reason, I guess psychologically, it just broke me. That was the day that I felt the worst. I had a headache all day. I couldn't really breathe. My fever was off the charts. I just felt like total crap. I guess my defenses just backed down. I really don't know what happened there, but I just felt bad. And for a couple of days, it started gradually getting better. Like the fever went away that same day. By Thursday, I had no more fever. And I forgot to mention, but my sense of smell came back that same night, and I've had it since. And I never lost my sense of taste, luckily, because I love my food. So yeah, come Friday, it was smooth sailing all the way back home. So really, I only had one day that I felt really bad. And I really think, in fact, I am sure, it was because of my grandmother's passing. In my experience, COVID wasn't really that bad, but I still wouldn't recommend it. Of course, the passing of my grandmother overshadows anything else. But then this thing is a close second. And I'll tell you, the worst thing about coronavirus is the solitary confinement for those 2 weeks. I can definitely tell you that psychologically, it really took a toll on me. Of course, the fact that my grandmother passed away didn't help, but I was feeling exceptionally emotional. Like I was PMSing really bad. But in all seriousness, it was really depressing. It just really depressed the hell out of me. I would just want to lay down in bed and just do nothing. In fact, if you've been following my channel, then you'll see that I hadn't done any videos in those 2 weeks, and I just didn't feel like it. But luckily, it was actually a smooth ride for me. As far as physical health, it wasn't really all that bad. Psychologically though, it really takes a toll on you. Anyway, that's my experience with COVID. I really don't wish it upon anybody, especially the older people. And it's really not that bad on young people, but it still sucks to get sick. So if you can't avoid it, make sure you do so. Down here, it's mandatory for us to wear a mask. I don't know how it is in your country, but yeah, I am glad it's over. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. If you like the video, don't forget to drop me a like. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man. There's a really cool video coming up this Saturday, so stick around. I will see you guys next time. Pat out, stay healthy, metal on dudes.